In previous projects, we've approached public space quite broadly, so that could also be online, the internet as a public space. One of the first projects that we did, which is related to the conflict in Syria, was about analyzing and collecting imagery which is used in a political context within the Syrian conflict. And there we saw that the internet was used in a very interesting way as what you say as public space. Further, we've done other projects which are more kind of interventions into actual public space, also into seeing public space as also being politically charged, and we've done projects before where we've intervened, creating political campaigns for public space, for example. But yeah, I think the public space and how it intersects with politics is very interesting for us, and also how that affects people in a very personal sense, like the story of Ghalia's father, where actually the space of Cairo for him was somewhere where he fled to as an escape, but then also was a place where he became also trapped inside, watching the story of his own country. So yeah, sort of how the personal connects with political is really interesting.
Yeah, and I think online was like really like taking or considering online and social media as a public space for us as a kind of repetitive, like you see it like a lot in our work, questioning actually this kind of new space and how people actually interact with each other and this like when they are like online. And we were interested also in sketching the political narrative inside those spaces, how politics finds space, so how propaganda actually was built specifically for online and how people actually share this propaganda or interact with it. What you are going to see, it's a video piece. You hear a voice of a man explaining the...
in Arabic.
In Arabic, yes, it's Arabic.
Her father.
My father. And he's explaining the three scenarios of the future concerning Syria.
In the interview, you also don't see the face of Ghalia's father, which was a choice for us. We wanted to use his words and script it more as a sort of a conspiracy theory of different scenarios that could possibly take place. That's also, you see in the visual language as well, that there's some elements of fiction mixed in with fact. Ghalia's father, who's living in Egypt, in Cairo, and he and his family fled from Damascus in Syria a few years back. And what we decided to do in Cairo was to do a series of interviews with him, and we experimented with different ways of doing interviews. One of them was to show him a number of historical events or to remind him of events in order to trigger him to tell his version of how history had unfolded in Syria. And we asked him about different periods in history and what he thought about different styles of governance in the region, different possibilities for that. And we wanted him to speak about that from his own perspective, but then also with a view to thinking about what could be possibilities for our current situation looking forward, and what he sort of predicts also for the different scenarios and the different possibilities. It's really important for us as two females working together that we can also, if we choose to, have an aspect of anonymity. I think it allows us a special kind of freedom when we're working together. People often think that we are men, so that we think is great. So yeah, it allows us to work under specific themes that are important to us and to really be more concrete about who we are as a group.
Well, we've been working together since 10 years now, so it's a long time ago. We knew each other during our education. We were doing a master program together. Well, it was interesting for us because we both come from a different background, and we were like located in the West, so we shared like kind of similar ideas about how we find ourselves and how we define our new identity coming from the East and the South into like Western a community or a Western country. So we decided to share those ideas together and start a new collective.